Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Got Mama Danno here with me. Today we are in northern Kentucky at Devou Park, and we're going to be visiting the Behringer-Crawford Museum, which sits right here in the middle of Devou Park. It's a beautiful setting. We're going to go and check it out. I don't think I've ever been here before, but you have.
Oh, yeah, many times.
So, yeah, should be a good time. We're going to take you along with us. Let's get to it. So apparently the museum has been open since 1950. Got all kinds of different artifacts and things in here. Look at this. What is this? 1924 Stalwart Ironworks U.S. motor truck. Isn't that cool? Latonia Springs here. Oh, these are different milk jars, milk bottles. Isn't that cool? Got the old trolley car here as soon as you walk in. And this used to be in full action. That is pretty cool. You can see the rails. Got some old whiskey bottles here. George Remus whiskey bottle. Interesting. Gibson's pheasant there. Lots of German history here in northern Kentucky as well, so may come across some of that, as they do have a Oktoberfest here in northern Kentucky. Look at this. Kind of an old stein. Oh, here's a stein right here. Isn't that cool? That's an old microscope right there. Late 19th century. Right here, Oldenburg. Got a Bavarian brew here.
This is how we used to get our milk delivered to our house.
Yes. How long did you have to drink it before it went bad?
Well, it didn't last very long, you know.
Yeah.
They used to deliver like every other day or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a pretty neat place. It's quiet. We're like the only ones here. We are here on a Thursday. It was only $9. $9 to visit here. They have all kinds of cool old things in here. It's a tobacco jar. That's hilarious. Here's a tobacco jar shard. It's one that broke and somebody dug it up, I guess. Mary Arminta, or Minty as they call her, Hemingray. I guess this is a painting here by Israel Quick. Right here, isn't that cool? Boy, that is detailed. Israel Quick was one of the few Jewish artists in the Cincinnati region. He was a photograph tinter and partner at the photography firm Hoag and Quick during the late 19th century. He was also an instructor at the Cincinnati Arts Institute. This place is very kid-friendly as well. They got like this Thomas the Train, like magnetic track here. Just sitting here and play around on this stuff. DeCourcy Rail Yard.
This is what used to be on the side of the Chesapeake and Ohio Railway. Sometimes you can still see some of the boxcars that had that on it.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Like the black cars that have the yellow cat on it. Yeah. Okay,
That
look at
was
this.
how they spiked the...
Hammered the railroad spikes. Boy, that's not a very John Henry size one, but...
Here's the lights they used to use, and there's a bell over there too.
Look at that. That's for the oil.
Yeah.
Oil or differential fluid. What do we got here? Oh, look at that.
Bell.
Yeah. Let you know they're coming.
Yep.
Here is a railroad calendar from 1938, where freight rates and passenger fares go. Different wages. It's fuel month. Different materials and supplies. Places of interest. And the dreaded taxes. Right here up in front, they got a little gift shop here. Get you a little snake. This little turtle guy here.
Geode.
Hello. Mom just pointed out this giant geode here. Look at that. $850 for that. What do they call it? Cathedral Geode. Guess that is
it's a
available
rock
for
and you
purchase.
split it and
Yeah. Some kids' little wood toys up there. Check this out. It's like an interactive little train yard here. 34th Street Station. Is this supposed to be New York? Oh, look at that. Mom just pushed the button. This was... Oh, yeah, push all the buttons. The whole city's coming to life. Got a bar down there, Ludlow Liquor. Oh, is this based off of Northern Kentucky?
Yep.
What? Oh, here comes the trolley that we just saw. Look. There it goes. Oh, we did talk to a guy who worked here. He said that I guess it used to go outside during the summer months. Not sure if that's going to happen, the trolley that was up front there. But hopefully it does. Oh. Mom is the conductor of this city. Did you see it go over the bridge there?
Yeah, you can go crawl under.
Crawl under?
And get in one of those bubbles.
Oh, yeah, one of the little bubble things.
Yeah.
I'm not crawling.
Yeah, I mean,
But, yeah. Well, they got some fun music playing. I don't know what year this would be. This is too cool. Pick's Pool Hall right there. How many pool halls you see nowadays? There it goes. Oh yeah, there's trolley again. Boy, that thing's really moving.
yeah, they used to.
Oh, here comes his brother. United Traction Company. That's wild. I guess, yeah, this back here is a suspension bridge. He did say that this was 4 floors. That was the first floor there. Behringer-Crawford Museum, History in Motion. This is their mission right here. It's pretty neat. Has anything changed since the last time you've been here?
Yeah, some.
Some. So we're going to this. There's a second floor. Oh, employees only for 2A. All right. Walking off the elevator here. Got some old signs here. A lot of things haven't changed. You got, this is an emergency exit. Don't want to go out that way. Wow. This is pretty neat. Kentucky 237 got a water fountain there. And they do have stairs that you can walk up. However, you know, this place, I did read before as we were coming here, it's completely handicap accessible. So no need to worry about that if you have a wheelchair. This place is awesome. Look at this. Roy Rogers and the Sons of the Pioneers. The Republic years. Isn't that cool? Anybody remember Roy Rogers Restaurant? Look at this. They got like an old Chevy here.
Look, yeah.
Is this a Chevy?
I don't know.
I don't really know either. But yeah, check this out. This is like you can sit down and watch like old videos here. Here, I'll drive. Ooh. Look at this. Isn't that cool? Sit here and watch movies. What are you doing?
I'm going to take a picture.
Mom was just saying here at the drive-ins, these are the exact replicas of what they used to be when they would hang them on your door so you could hear hear what's going on at the drive-in movie. I have been to a drive-in movie before, very similar to these speakers, more plasticky. In this day and age, that is a solid metal. Do you know what show this is, Mom? Molten Terror. Oh, sounds exciting. So where would you like to drive to? Oh, I'm just kidding. Guys, this place is awesome. I like that it's big, but it's not too big. You're not like walking like all over the place. Everything is kind of like all together. And it's just like weird random things from the past. Like this car, I literally feel like this is a real car that they split up. Like even the seats feel like they're from the 1950s. Got like the old radio here. Wonder Bar. Oh, is it? Okay, well, I thought maybe that might change channels. But look at this.
They used to call that an MRS degree.
Got the different gauges on here. Got the old style speedometer. Okay, so I found out this is a 1959 Buick Electra. After World War II, a generation of Americans that had suffered through war and economic depression suddenly found a reason to celebrate the freedom they had fought for in a very public way. The automobile became a symbol of freedom for this generation, that they could move any way they wanted to, anytime they wanted to. That is cool. Also, they got a QR code here. And they pretty much have these on everything if you want to find out more information. Yeah, like even these seats here, like I feel like this is like from the real car. It's even got this leather here, and that is actual leather back when we could afford to put real leather in cars.
Dixie Highway started up in Michigan, in Chicago, and come all the way down. We're about, let's see, here, we're in Covington,
Yeah.
and you can take that all the way down, still to this day, all the way down
All
to
the way through
Miami.
Florida, yeah.
Yep, 25, one road.
Yep. Me and Jess talked about that one time on our 14-hour drive down 75 to Florida and thought, well, back then it might have been a better way of travel, but oh, here we go. 1962, Interstate 75 opened. A boon to Northern Kentucky's development. The highway's success was marred by a dangerous stretch of road called Death Hill descending north into Covington. That is the hill that we today call the Cut in the Hill, which, if it's snowing, try to steer clear of that. However, it is one of the most beautiful views into a city of all times. If you guys have been following mine and Jessica's channel for a while, that is where we come across the mountain, the Cut in the Hill, and right as soon as you cut into the hill, you see all downtown Cincinnati. Absolutely gorgeous, and you're higher than the city. You're pretty much coming down into the city. So if you come right around sunrise or even sunset, you get a gorgeous view of Cincinnati. If you're coming from Kentucky into Cincinnati, it's absolutely gorgeous. Okay, so Mom was pointing out this hardtack. What did you say this is?
It's hardtack.
Hardtack.
And it was something that people out west and different areas where they weren't able to carry a lot of food, that hardtack sustained them.
Uh-huh. A little snack to keep going, huh?
Mm-hmm. And there's some Indian arrows.
Oh, yeah.
Heads.
Early woodland spear points. Mm-hmm. What is this, a bone to? Boy, this is weird and random, man.
Bison.
Ancient bison leg bone. Ice Age mammal. Wow. That's from a few years ago. Give you a look from where we are here. We are on the second floor still, just above the big trolley. Studebaker English horse gig. Huh. So that's right here, a little horse carriage hung from the ceiling here. Some really neat stuff in here. Let's see, did you find anything interesting?
Yeah. See this bear here?
Yeah.
It used to be downstairs, and that was the first thing you saw when you came in.
Oh, really?
And it was huge.
He said they kind of moved some things around.
Yeah.
Weird and Wild Wonders. We're kind of hoping we come up on something Mom is excited to see. We don't want to spoil anything. The founding of Behringer-Crawford Museum, July 5th, 1950. The city of Covington opened the William Behringer Memorial Museum in Devou Park. The park itself dates to 1910 when Charles and William Devou Jr. donated around 500 acres of land and their family home to the city. Their hope was that the land would become a public park and that their home would be converted into a library or art museum. And that's exactly what happened. This place is all for the public. I mean, I haven't been to this museum, but I have been to Devou Park. I mean, this place is huge. Like I said, 500 acres, huge golf course, lots of other things to do around here. They got playgrounds and stuff like that. I mean, it's a very welcoming place. I can imagine here soon, as we are first day of spring actually, so happy spring. But once it starts getting all green again and everything, this place is gonna look gorgeous. Mom just pointed out here that this is an actual tree, and it points the years of the different what the years span of how
Yeah.
long it was?
Columbus, 1492, right here.
Wow.
Then 1539,
1539,
1565,
1565.
86.
Wow.
Yeah.
This goes
it's
out
amazing.
and out and out. Look at that. All the way to the Revolutionary War, Civil War here. At the western tip, 1861. Louisiana Purchase, 1803. That's an old tree. This is just it's called The Archaeologist. January 19, does that say 1925? 1895. My goodness. It's kind of dark in here. Wow. Uranium glass from the 1930s. Oh, look at this. Got an old Geiger counter from 1950. Interesting. More different spearheads. I wonder if a lot of this stuff they just dug up out of Dew Park. Assorted archaeology books. Pretty cool. Found the bear that Mom was talking about there. She says this is the thing that you first walked into. You said it's... Remember it being a lot bigger, huh?
Yeah, but I was a lot smaller.
Right. Now here's some weird stuff right here. What is this? The two-headed calf named Ditto. Is this real?
Yes,
There's
it
no
is
way
real.
that's real.
Looks like they cut off his legs because it used to be standing.
So this... Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
What the heck? The calf is conjoined twins that were born in 1916 in Decatur near Georgetown on the Spence Edwards farm in eastern Ohio. My goodness. That is crazy looking. Random red squirrel there. Hey, look, it's a rocket from Guardians of the Galaxy. Look at this owl here. Kind of creepy looking. An English toy terrier, dog breeding in the past, often was more concerned with characteristics than the viability of the breed. That is... Was supposed to be like a little dog? Look at that. An English toy terrier. The smallest dog breed ever bred. That's crazy looking. Mom just pointed out here's basically a history lesson of William Behringer and his Cabinet of Curiosities. I'm starting to feel like I'm in Ripley's Believe It or Not here. Here's one of his books, some of his writing in it, different wonders that he found. Assorted bison bones. Boy, he liked collecting bison bones. Some cow hairballs? What the heck? From the stomachs of cows are two examples of extreme forms of hairballs. Yeah, no kidding. Looks like,
There's his shrunken head.
oh my goodness. Okay, so this is the weirdness Mom's been waiting for, as you just heard. I literally about jumped out of my soul. Oh, geez. Let's see. From the Amazon basin, the Javaro, or Jivaro, Indians of the Amazon jungle were headhunters. After an enemy was killed, his head was removed and taken back to the Javaro village. It was then shrunk by treating it with hot sand. So this is for real?
That is a real shrunken head.
That is... Wow, you weren't kidding when you said strange and unusual. That's wild.
I know. It's mesmerizing. I can't stop looking at it.
That's weird. And it just gets weirder and weirder. Of course, this is a family history book of William Behringer. This guy must have been an interesting guy right here. Got these different... These are... what do you call these at the end of a rifle? A musk. Like a musket. What is this? A bison skull. Bison skull. Oh boy, that is creepy, especially right next to the voodoo doctor from Beetlejuice. Okay, so not really part of the artifacts or anything, but they got like a bunch more history stuff back here. This is where they have like maybe if they have like students and stuff, maybe different schools, like a little area back here. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, if they're having like a little welcoming or something, maybe have some coffee back here. Okay, so I'm glad we're getting a little closer look here because this is, wow, wild. Circa 25,000 BC to 12,000 BC. It's like a history of life itself. We got 80. What were you saying before? These are
the Shawnee.
all the Shawnee.
Yeah,
They're
the
from
Shawnee
Covington,
and the Iroquois. Yeah, they were
Yeah.
in the along Riverside Drive in Covington.
Wow,
That
that's crazy. I mean, it's amazing all this history in here.
see, there's the Ohio River.
Where is it? Right here.
Yeah.
The Ohio River, late 18th century pioneer settlement. American Revolutionary War veterans were among the first permanent white settlers receiving plots of land in return for their service. Some settlers floated down the Ohio River on flatboats, while others arrived by traveling along the Wilderness Road through the Cumberland Gap.
This picture here shows George Clark and Simon Kenton and Daniel Boone, who are their names are synonymous with Kentucky. Here in Covington in 1782, it's a picture of them depicting planning their raids on the Indian tribes of Ohio that had attacked in Fort Washington, which is, if you're from Cincinnati, you don't know where that's at, but
Right across the river.
yeah.
Here's a photo of in 1867. This is the Roebling Bridge, the John Roebling Bridge. This is one of the original suspension bridges ever.
Yeah.
I think was the first one in California.
Yeah,
I'm not really
and
sure.
it was patterned
Yeah.
after the bridge in San Francisco. But this actually started building in 1861, but the Civil War broke out, so they had to stop because of the war effort.
Yeah,
And then it was finally completed in 1865.
yeah. Well, and it says right here, this was the prototype for the Brooklyn Bridge, open to vehicular traffic. It was the first bridge spanning the Ohio River between Kentucky and Ohio. I didn't know it was the first bridge.
Yeah, and just think it was started building in 1861, and that bridge you can still
Yeah,
go over.
yeah. You can walk over it if you like.
Yeah.
All right, we just came off the elevator for floor 3. This beautiful stained glass. Looks like maybe Daniel Boone there, or Davy Crockett. He's got the famous raccoon hat there. This clear as geta. Yeah. If you've watched our videos in the past, me and Mom have eaten at Anchor Grill. We actually ate at Anchor Grill before we came here. And Glier's Geta is right across the street. Still to this day. Got an old roulette from 1952, it looks like. Gifted by the Monte Carlo Club. Oh, Dixie Chili. Yeah, Dixie Chili's from here too. Also, if you get up to the 3rd floor and you realize you have to use the restroom, they got a couple restrooms off to the right here, right off the elevator. There are restrooms on the 1st floor as well. There's another like veranda. Zavu Legacy Building. Looks like we got some old music stuff here. Old microphone. I do hear during the summertime they have bands that play out in like the circular area here. Look at this. White Christmas, the exhibit coming 2025 to 2026. We may have to check that out. I like this place. It's really cool. Really neat stuff. Another stained glass right here. Some of the trains. Gorgeous. Some more strange and unusual objects here at the Behringer-Crawford Museum. They got a mammoth tooth. A mammoth tooth. Elephas primigenius. 10,000 years ago. Wow. William Behringer Bering Memorial Museum excavation. Big Bone Lick, 1959. Where is Big Bone Lick? That's a little south of here, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, we got a horse tooth. This place is, just like you said, strange and unusual.
There's part of a tusk of a
What the
mastodon.
heck? A mastodon?
Yeah, which was like a prehistoric
Let me look over. Oh yeah. See, I can't really see. Wow, 10,000 BC. Look at that. That is crazy. The first recognized paleo tradition in northern Kentucky is the Clovis period, with characteristic projectile points and tools. Clovis points are long blades with a distinctive flute or narrow channel flake removed from the base. Just talking about these things up here, which I guess that is what these are right there. More different like arrowheads right there. Another bison bone. You can build a whole, oh my goodness, look at this. There's another bison skull right here. There's a bison buffalo mandible, bottom part of the jaw. 6,000 BC. Something from prehistoric American Indian sites. American Indians lived in our region from about 12,000 years ago, at least until the 1500s. By the 18th century, American Indians used northern Kentucky as a resource area rather than as a home. Hunting, salt processing, and trapping were important activities conducted by them. Look at this. It's like a hand-built axe. Wow. Typical late archaic projectile points used as darts. These little guys right here. Oh, or maybe there. Wow. Crazy. Food processing tools. Yeah, it looks like kind of what some people use today to grind up your different spices. Look at that. There's like a rock and something tool for doing that. It's starting to get weirder. Mastodon mandible here. Mammoth Americanum. 10,000 BC. I guess this was part of that big bone lick excavation they did in 1959. Look at this. Look at those teeth.
I know.
My goodness.
Look, there's a picture of Mary Ingles' house.
Who?
Or Laura Ingalls.
Laura Ingle?
Or Mary. Mary Ingalls.
Mary Ingle? Oh, yeah. Mary Draper Ingalls, captured by the Shawnee in 1755, escaped while on a salt-gathering mission at Big Bone Lick. Here's the American Mastodon. Sketch of the woolly mammoth. That is amazing and terrifying. Kind of the history of some of the different archaeology that's been closely tied to this museum. I think that is apparent. Ellis Crawford, hence the Behringer-Crawford, was an amateur archaeologist and an active member of the Northern Kentucky Archaeological Society, which was a chapter of the statewide Kentucky Archaeological Society. The society met at the museum and often participated in excavations throughout the region. Wow. Wonder, do you think they do like events here, like during the summertime?
Probably. There's a picture of what Fort Washington Way used to look like.
Oh, yeah.
Hence, that's why it's called Fort Washington
Fort Washington,
Way.
right, yeah. So here is Fort Thomas from 1890 to 1964, built on high ground to replace the flooded Newport Barracks. Fort Thomas hosted the 6th U.S. Infantry, which fought in the Spanish-American War in 1898. Transformed into a hospital, Fort Thomas housed hundreds of veterans of this war recovering from jungle fever. Throughout the early 20th century, the fort was used for training and as an Army reception and induction center. Too small for today's regiments, the fort was decommissioned in 1964. Parts of the grounds continue as an Army Reserve Center, while the city of Fort Thomas adapted the military facilities for a park and community activities. I will say Fort Thomas is an amazing city here in Northern Kentucky. They have all kinds of, there are lots of history, but it's also a place where they have like a lot of different restaurants and family-owned businesses. It's really beautiful. An area of Northern Kentucky that I would recommend visiting is Fort Thomas. Absolutely gorgeous. People are so friendly, and like I said, like all kinds of different like family events, stuff like that. So my mom just pointed out here the Island Queen. You said
People used to board in Covington and go to Coney Island.
Yeah, Coney Island in Ohio.
Yeah.
Not the New York, as most people would probably think. Coney Island celebrated excursion boat ran regular trips between the amusement park in Cincinnati and northern Kentucky. You said you got a picture of Grandma on there?
Uh-huh.
Well, here is an interesting cabinet here. So we got some old firearms, mid 19th century pocket pistol. Ethan and Wheelock. Wow. Look at that. I feel like I've seen something like that on Pawn Stars. 32 caliber pepper box revolver. Got the Gwen and Campbell monkey tail carbine. Got an old, wow, look at these tobacco pipes. Wow. Union officer sword right there. Cartridge box. Oh, I see. It's on a belt here. You can't really tell, but I was gonna say that'd be pretty heavy to carry. But it looks like that's like a shoulder harness kind of deal. The animal commonly referred to as an elk in North America is also known as the Shawnee name wapiti, meaning white rump. Look at this big guy. Got like a little open area here of an old steamboat right here. Got some different some different clothes. Maybe kids could play maybe a photo op here. Got the little horse things. This is so cool. Yeah, little photo ops right here. Dressed as a soldier. Here's a replica of the suspension bridge, the John Roebling Bridge, the suspension bridge. Millions of troops are on the move. Is your trip necessary? Office of Defense Transportation. Look at all this. That's an old grenade here. Japanese grenade. Here's a canteen cup. Have that coffee in the morning. Here's an old U.S. Army cap. U.S. Army cap with insignia of U.S. 79th Company Coast Artillery, owned by C.W. Glenn, Spanish-American War, 1901 to 1904. Mom just pointed out here, you've got this old suits, old outfits from the Civil War. Look at this drum, 1861. Got the American flag up there, the Black Brigade of Cincinnati. This is just too cool, guys. Super awesome. There's an old trumpet, an old taps trumpet there. It's a fun little piece of history here. In 1918, the river had frozen over. You said that was your grandma?
Yes, and my grandmother walked across it on the ice.
And then in 1977,
1977, when the river froze over, me and my nephew Mike walked across it. But we didn't go all the way across. We went about a quarter of a way,
Half a foot.
and I thought, wow, this river is very wide.
Right.
So I went back.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's close to a mile, if not longer. I'll tell you what, I'm glad that I saw this lady and her kid walk up this spiral staircase here, because you can actually walk up on top of the bridge. Wow, this is narrow. Oh, look at this. So, as you can see here, this is the replica of the suspension bridge, which very much smaller version. Look at this. There's the Cincinnati Museum Center, or as us comic book fans call, the Hall of Justice. There's Mom down there. Hello. Some cool stuff up here as well. This is pretty neat. Here's a history lesson on all the different bridges crossing from northern Kentucky into Cincinnati. The railroad bridge, which sits right next to I-71 and I-75. CSO Railroad and Clay Wade Bailey. There's another one there. Let's see, where's the... Yeah, here it is. Now this one just got fixed. If you heard about the bridge that had caught fire, there on the Cincinnati side, there was a fire from like a playground, and that's what it caused them having to fix this. But this is the Daniel Carter Beard Bridge. We all call it the Big Mac Bridge. So from the bottom there, I pointed out the steamboat here. Well, here is like kind of an interactive, you act like you're driving the steamboat. These buttons don't have. Oh. Just makes the different sounds there. Steamboat bell. Oh, there we go. Here is a picture of Judy A. Lincoln wearing an American Airlines stewardess summer uniform there. And here's the outfit. Right here. And right here, you got a little Delta hanging from the ceiling. Okay, so we came up to the 4th floor here. They got a research library here. I guess that's where they do their research. But this is more like a kids area up here, which I think is really cool. Get the kids off the games and doing different things.
See if Jess knows how to do.
Huh? Is that a old Minnie Mouse? There she is. Doesn't really look that old.
2 runways, exhibit, and stairs, we said.
I don't know. Oh, that's just the arrow to the stairs
Where you was?
to go down. Yeah. Yeah, that's where. Basically, when I walked up to the bridge, it carried around. That's how I came around from behind you.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is all kids stuff up here. Look, he's one of these old style like pencil sharpeners here. I don't know. They still do those in schools. I remember those. What a trip to the Behringer-Crawford Museum. This was awesome.
Yes.
I really enjoyed it. I got to be honest. I kind of thought of this place as not a dive, but I kind of thought it wasn't going to be like this. I didn't think it was going to be like an actual museum. That was going to be like one of those drive-by, like, hey, check out a little bit of history. There's a lot of cool stuff in here, even ancient history, like,
right.
You know, woolly mammoths and shrunken heads. I don't know, guys, weird and wacky museum, but there's also a lot of history between Cincinnati
Yes.
and Northern Kentucky here. And they told us that they change up things all the time. They move things around. They find new things to do. So I feel like this is a place you could visit again.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
And there's a lot of stuff that we didn't see today. But for the most part, like, yeah, I feel like I could come back here. It's $9, so it's pretty cheap.
Right. Plus
Right.
it's 4 floors.
Four floors. Well, the 4th floor is like all
Yeah,
kids' activities.
yeah.
But if you have children, if you have kids,
Yeah.
you might want to look into some of the activities that they have going on here.
Yeah.
She said during the summertime, the lady said during the summertime, they have 10 concerts. She said they're on Thursday nights, local talent. So maybe Kentucky and Cincinnati bands that play out here somewhere. I'm assuming over here, back here is like a little theater area. But there's a lot of stuff going on here. So it sits in DeVue Park, which DeVue Park is beautiful anyway. And there are some really high points at DeVue Park where you can see downtown Cincinnati.
Yeah.
And it is just gorgeous. So, got anything to say?
No, it was great.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Better than I even remember it.
Yeah. We love the history stuff and kind of adding in all the strange and unusual things as well. I think that really adds to it because it's like you're not just looking at history, you're looking at stuff that is super old, like
Yeah.
tens of thousands of years. So I always like that stuff as well. But anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed our trip to the Behringer-Crawford Museum today. If you did, don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Make sure you like that video. Help spread our video out around the world. We do appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. With all that being said, we are out. And always remember, the adventure
Is out there.